In today's video, we're going to talk about quadratic equations, basically quadratic equations and how to find their roots, what the nature of the roots. Are they going to be real, complex numbers, or both mixed of reals and complex numbers? First, what we need to know is what are quadratic equations. Quadratic equations are all any equation. We can write it this way here. Basically, quadratic equations, quadratic, it's in equations of degrees, the fourth degree. Basically, this way here, ix power 4 plus bx power 3 plus cx square plus dx, let's say, plus h, just a name. But we have to get A, B, C, D, and H are real numbers. That is the first thing. They need to belong to R. Basically, all of them are real numbers. And then in here, we've got quadratic equation is any equation of degrees fourth degree. This you have to understand. We said in previous video, for any equations of degrees got an, and degrees got an roots. And roots. If we said fourth degree, you're gonna have 4 roots. The previous video was spoken about cubic, which is degree, third degree, and we said we got 3 roots. And this is what we've spoken about, and we did a couple of examples to know what the nature of how to find the roots and what the nature of them, etc, etc. But for today, we're going to talk about fourth degree, which is degree number 4. What the nature now of these roots, the nature of the roots, you're going to find them 4 degrees, the 4 roots, what the nature of them. Basically, if you got a quadratic equation, ask you to solve this problem, which is fx equal 0, find this problem in here. What the nature of the roots? The nature of the roots, you're going to have 3 options. The first option here, all roots in here, basically 4 roots will be real numbers, basically belongs to R. You won't find any complex number in your roots. You're gonna find them like basically just numbers. Let's say 5 minus 6, 100, something like that. You will find just numbers in here. You won't find any complex number, no imaginary number at all, just real numbers. And the second option here, you're gonna find your 4 roots gonna be 2 real roots. It's basically 2 real numbers plus a pair, which is this pair, which is 1 complex number, and then the other option is, which is the conjugate of this complex number, which is going to be the conjugate. What I mean with the conjugate is the opposite number. Let's say if you got your complex number is z equal x plus y I, z, the other complex number, which is the conjugate, is going to mention it by z1, is going to be x, is same real number, but here is the opposite in the imaginary number y I. This is the second option. The third option, you're going to have 2 pairs, basically 4 complex, the all solution is going to be complex numbers, complex numbers in here. The or 4 solutions is going to be got 4 roots in here, reals, 2 reals and 2 complex, but here 4 complex numbers is going to be pair of complex numbers. Basically, you're going to have a complex number 1 and then 2, 1 complex number, and then you're going to have the conjugate of this complex number, and second one you're going to have another complex number, another complex number. And then next to it, we're going to have the conjugate of this complex number. Remember, this is all types you would have if you try to find the roots of a quadratic equation, which is equation of degree number 4. You're going to have 4 roots, 4 real numbers, the roots, or 2 real numbers and 2 complex numbers, which is one of them going to be the conjugate of the one you found, which is your complex number, or you're going to have 4 complex number, which is a pair of complex number, and the opposite of them, which is the conjugate of these complex numbers. This is all we've spoken. Basically, you need to solve quadratic equations and how to find like the nature of basically the nature of the roots. And now we're going to dive in straight away to 1 or 2 examples to see how it goes and what shall we do to solve a problem of degree number 4. Here's an example of a quadratic equation, and we try to find a solution or root for this quadratic equation. And this quadratic equation, basically fx being given to x fourth degree, basically we've got in here is definitely going to have 4 roots, and we try to find what are them roots. But we've been given that f minus 3 equals f2 equals 0. What that means? That means minus 3 and 2 are already 2 roots being given as a solution or root for our equation. What we can do, and then what it asks us to do, is find other 2 roots of fx. If we have minus 3 and 2 as 2 roots for this equation here, what we can do, that means we can write minus 3 and 2 are factors for this equation here. How we can write that? Fx is the same function. We can write x plus 3 because we've got minus 3 as a root. We can write x minus minus 3, which is x plus 3, times x minus 2, which is 2. Already we knew it's a root. Them 2 are 2 factors for fx, which is our function. We need to find all the roots, which is 4. We knew already we have to find 4. We've got 2. We got 2 missing now. We have to find them. Times, we got here power 1 and first degree. We've got in here our function is the 4th degree. What we're trying to do here, we try to write fx in another form that help us to find our other roots, which is we can write it this way here: x plus 3 times x minus 2 times a times x squared plus b x plus c. We need to find a, b, c. Once we found that, we can then just find the solution of this function of 2nd degree, and then we can find our all roots for this function here. Then how we can write it? What we have to do in here, we keep this function as it is because we don't know a, b, c. We have to keep it as it is. We don't mess up with this function here. All we have to do is just simplify this right in here. It's going to be basically distribute it. X times x is x squared, x times minus 2 is minus 2x, 3 times x is plus 3x, and 3 times minus 2 is minus 6, times ax squared plus bx plus c. And then from here, simplify it. X squared plus 3x minus 2x plus x minus 6 times ax squared plus bx plus c. This is our new form of our first, it's like original form, which is this one here. It's like we write it this way here, which is the new form. All we have to do now is find a, b, c. How we can find this? Remember, our function here is the same as this one. Basically, we've got x squared plus c minus 6 times ax squared plus bx plus c equals x 4th degree minus 3 x power 3 minus 3x squared plus 17x minus 30. What we have to do, we need to find this. Basically, to find this function or this right in here, a, b, c, this function of 2nd degree, we have to divide. We have to make some division. Basically, we have to divide all this form in here by this 2nd degree function. How we can write this? We're going to write it this way here: x 4th degree minus x 3 minus 3x squared plus 17x minus 30 divided by x squared plus x minus 6. What we have to do here, just divide this by this function here, 2nd degree. We got x power 4 times x squared is going to give us x squared, and then if you duplicate it in here, it's going to be minus x minus 6x squared plus here x. Basically, I'm going to just reverse in here, x 4th degree, just this times this, which is x squared times x squared times x, and x squared times minus 6. Here we go. And then what we have to do, just minus in here, x power 4 times minus x power 4. Here we're going to have minus 2x. Basically, just simplify it. And here we're going to have plus minus plus 6 is going to be plus 3x squared plus 17 x, so I have to bring this down in here, minus 2x power 3 divided by x squared is going to be minus 2x, and then we have to duplicate it again, minus 2x times minus 6 plus 12x minus 2x squared, and then here minus 2x times x squared is going to be minus 2x power 3, and then again minus 2x power 3 minus plus 2x power 3 is going to be 0. 3 times x squared plus 2 plus x squared is going to be 5x squared. 17x minus 12x is going to be plus 5x minus 30. And then we've got in here 5x squared. I have just to divide the first factor, which is x squared, divided by just, this is the basic of maths. Hopefully you know all this, how to do this, basically, especially this division here. 5x squared divided by x squared is going to be plus 5. 5 times minus 6 is minus 30. 5 times x is going to be 5x, and then we've got here 5 times x squared is going to be plus 5x squared. We're going to have minus in here, and then it's the same second degree, same factors, going to have 0. Then what we're going to have in here, we found our a, b, c, which is a is 1, b is minus 2, and then c is 5. All we have to do now, then we found our second degree function here. We can write basically this second degree function times this second degree function, if give us the new form, the old form of fx. We knew we've got minus 3 and 2 are two roots of this second degree reduction function. We have to find our roots for this function in here, which is x squared minus 2x plus 5, which is we have to calculate their data, equal b squared minus 4 ac, which is equals b squared is minus 2 squared is going to be 4 minus 4 ac, a is 1, c is 5. Yes, and then what we're going to have in here, 4 minus times 5, it's 20, minus 20, which is equals here minus 16, and basically our delta is fewer than 0. If we try to find solution for this equation here in R, which is real numbers, it's going to be no way we cannot find any solutions because delta is minus. But now in a complex number, we knew that we've got two solutions as a complex number, which is going to have one complex number and the conjugate, which is the opposite in terms of imaginary number for that complex number. What that means, we're going to have our first solution, which is z1 equals minus b minus square roots of delta divided by 2a, and z2 equals minus b plus square root of delta divided by 2a. Here we're gonna simplify it. Basically that's all. We have just to put b in terms of the same, just put it in place. Minus b, we've got here minus, this is b, which is minus 2, minus 2 equals 2, minus, this is our delta, minus 16 square roots, divide by 2a, a is 1, basically 2 times 1 is 2, minus, remember we are in complex number, a equals, basically I equals minus a squared equals minus 1. This is what we knew in complex number. And then what we have to do, we have to replace minus here by a square. 2 minus here a square. 16 we can write it by 4 square, square root divided by 2 equals 2 minus here a square and 4 square, and we've got in here square root is going to be a 4 divided by 2 equals basically 1, and here we can see 1 minus 2 minus a divided by 2. This is our first result, basically the third result, because we've got the first one, the second one, this is the third one, and then here is the conjugate, basically the opposite. Conjugate means we're going to keep the same real number, which is 1, but we're going to go to the opposite imaginary number, which is plus 2a. That's all we've got in here. Basically here we found our solutions, 4 solutions for this function of degree number 4, or we call it quadratic equation. or function, two roots which is they are -3 and then 2, and other two roots which are complex numbers. We've got 1 minus a2 and then 1 plus a2. This is all our basically roots for our function of the fourth degrees. Here's that just a quick example. Remember, in every single example we're gonna have for cubic, basically in terms of third degree or the fourth degree, we're always going to give us basically a help or something, a tip to help us to start, because there's no way we can start just with this function in here. We need to get this help in here. With this tip in here, we can start our work. Basically what I have to do, he said them two are roots, we can write them as factors for this function. By the time we write them as a factor, we have to find just the rest of the new writing of this function here. Once we found our new writing, which is this one in here, then we have to go back to second degree, function of second degree, find the solution. If it's basically a positive, our two other roots is going to be real number. Here it's negative. In real number there is no way we can find any solution, but in complex number we found two solutions, which is one complex number and the other one is the conjugate. The conjugate means the same real number but the opposite imaginary number, because here we've got a square equals -1. This is the main thing that help us to find our two roots for our two roots that been asked to find them at first place in our example. This is all for today in terms of finding roots for this fourth degrees quadratic equations. If you need any help, drop me comments or let me know, and I'm more than happy to help. Remember, the more exercise you do, the better it gets. Maths is about practice and practice and practice. It's not just about theory, it's about practice. Theory is good, but practice is the key to succeed in maths. I'll see you soon in the next video, talking more about complex numbers, but in terms of different tips and different forms. And see you soon in the next video. Speak soon.